Right now, Chula Vista and National City are set to become the latest cities to make encampments illegal in public spaces. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. CBS 8's Brian White is live in National City, where the City Council is meeting right now. Brian?
The meeting here at City Hall just got underway only a few minutes ago, and at the same time, the Chula Vista City Council is also meeting right now. So they're both discussing an important issue, the possibility of placing a ban on homeless encampments.
I think everyone's ready for it, and particularly now that San Diego has passed theirs, Chula Vista is introducing theirs on their agenda tonight. We would get squeezed right in the middle.
Mayor of National City Ron Morrison says the new rules would make it unlawful to set up encampments on public property throughout the city.
You cannot be on sidewalks, you cannot be in the park, you cannot be near schools, you cannot be in riverbeds, all these different things that it calls for.
Chula Vista's ordinance is similar, prohibiting campsites and sleeping or storing personal belongings in public spaces and right-of-ways.
I believe that it's inhumane to leave people on the streets. We need to be able to get them into a situation where they're in housing and they're getting treatment.
Chula Vista Mayor John McCann says the grants past decision by the Supreme Court in June gives local governments more authority to enforce anti-camping laws.
We want to make sure that there's an escalation and people have the opportunity several times to be able to be offered help. But at some point in time, we need to draw a line where people need to get off the streets.
According to the Regional Task Force on Homelessness, Chula Vista saw a whopping 58% increase from 318 unsheltered people last year to more than 500 this year. Mayor McCann tells me they opened a bridge shelter more than a year ago, the Village at Otay, with a 65-bed capacity. Right now, 47 of those beds currently occupied. Meanwhile, in National City, Mayor Morrison tells me enforcement of their ban would be incremental.
This is not going to be a blanket deal where all of a sudden we're going to go out and say, okay, anyone who's homeless in our town, we're going to kick you out. No, that's not what this is. But we are going to deal with the more severe cases, especially these people that are just trashing neighborhoods.
If that ban passes tonight in Chula Vista, and again when it comes back for a second reading in a few weeks, it would go into effect 30 days after that. Meanwhile, here in National City, tonight is actually the second reading for their ordinance, so if it passes tonight, they'll start enforcing it about a month from now. Reporting live in National City, Brian White, CBS 8.
Thanks, Brian. People who live in their vehicles say that after staying overnight at De Anza Cove in Mission Bay for weeks now with no problems, that San Diego police are now issuing tickets. One person told us they thought it was legal to park there following a lawsuit against the city of San Diego. A settlement allows people to park their vehicles overnight on city streets if there's no place to go.
Ticketed every single night. We didn't have that much money to begin with to scrounge up to get these RVs and stuff, and now they're ticketing us till we lose them.
The city and SDPD tell CBS 8 that the recent crackdown was spurred by complaints from the public. The lead attorney in the class action lawsuit against the city tells us that the settlement is pending and no one should be being ticketed right now.
Escondido police are looking for a driver wanted in a deadly hit and run. It happened this morning. Police say 58-year-old Miguel Leonidas Garcia was crossing the street at Mission Avenue and Broadway just after 6 a.m. when he was hit. A witness told police the vehicle is a white off-road style SUV with a large spare tire and red high-lift style jack attached to the back. It was last seen traveling north on Broadway and then east on Lincoln Avenue. Garcia later died at the hospital. Anyone with information about who that hit-and-run driver might be should call the Escondido traffic investigator at 760-839-4930.
From before we started, that foundation was bad. They took a lot, but we didn't really notice like just how bad it was until we started digging.
Students at Canyon Crest Academy in Carmel Valley say they've uncovered misuse of donations by their school's foundation. But tonight, the school and the foundation are fighting back. They say the students' claims are not only false, but dangerous.
CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes has been following the story for us. She joins us live now from Canyon Crest Academy with the details. Kirsten?
Yeah, these two students, one from the robotics team, the other from the speech and debate team, conducted their own investigation into Canyon Crest Academy's foundation over the summer. Now, they tell me they knew they would find something. That's why they went digging. But what they didn't know was just how much money was taken from donations that was supposed to support student clubs at their school.
What I saw was pretty disturbing. They were taking a lot of money from our team. And I always just knew this, but I never really started acting on it.
Kevin Wang and Latong Tian are seniors at Canyon Crest Academy. This summer, they decided to investigate just how much of the donations that were supposed to support the robotics team and other clubs at the school went elsewhere.
As much as about 40% of a club's revenue could go to the foundation, which is substantially higher than other schools in our district, where that number is consistently under 10%.
The Canyon Crest Academy Foundation is the school's nonprofit foundation and main fundraising arm. Kevin and Latong say at minimum, the foundation takes a big cut from donations that are supposed to help student clubs at the school.
The foundation takes a 25% fee out of any donations made to any school-sponsored clubs. So that would include robotics, speech and debate, mock trial, stuff like that. But on top of that, at the end of every year, the foundation takes an arbitrary amount of money from the club's accounts to fund their own operations.
Here's the report the students made themselves. It's listed in detail on a Google document that spread like wildfire across the internet, informing lots of parents and students about the pair's findings. Kevin says he was even called into the principal's office.
He did say that I had defamed the school, the report was false, and he was essentially attempting to intimidate me into trying to take the report down.
We reached out to the principal for comment and haven't heard back. Sandra Sinek, president of the Canyon Crest Academy Foundation, declined our request for an interview, but pointed CBS 8 to the web link that they shared with parents, refuting the students' claims, saying these claims are not only untrue, they're incredibly irresponsible and harmful to the community. The CCAF Integrity, Governance, and Transparency webpage also says it is acceptable and standard practice to allocate any salaries of employees across various activities or programs of the organization. Kevin and Latong say they're offering reforms to the CCAF to help rebuild the trust that was broken.
It's wrong to blame us for exposing the right thing, whereas it's instead, if they want to rebuild trust with the community, we believe that they should implement some of the reforms that we've asked for in our document.
CBS 8 reached out to the school district, the school, and the foundation for comment on this story. The attorney representing the former president of the CCAF, who left the role a few months ago, sent us back a statement that says in part, quote, Cuvey's reputation has been irreparably harmed after two CCA students anonymously published an erroneous and misleading report online that called into question the financial activities of CCAF and Cuvey. The report, through its various iterations, has made several clear misstatements of fact. You can read the full statement on our website, cbs8.com. Now, we also have the link to the students' full report for you and the reforms that they're offering the foundation, including reducing the amount of money that they take from donations and submitting to an audit. You can read that report and their reforms also on our website. Now, I also want to mention, I spoke to a parent who was out here as we were getting our information here, and she says that she normally donates to the foundation, and she always knew about the 25% cut. And she says she was okay with how the foundation was using those funds. Some parents may disagree, but I wanted to offer that statement. Reporting live for CBS 8, I'm Kirsten Holmes. Back to you.
Thanks, Kirsten. New details are coming out about what led to the termination last month of San Diego Schools Superintendent Lamont Jackson.
The district released claims today detailing sexual harassment allegations by two former employees. The CBS 8's David Gottfredson reports the complaints about Jackson began more than 14 months ago.
These staff members should have never had to experience what they experienced.
San Diego School Board Vice President Cody Pedersen is talking about sexual harassment of two former district employees allegedly committed by the former superintendent, Lamont Jackson.
None of these things will happen again under our watch, and we are now trying to figure out how they happened and how to remedy them so it doesn't happen again.
The former employees Monica Hazel and Tavga Bustani filed claims in July, alleging they were demoted after refusing Jackson's sexual advances. Eventually, they both left the district. Bustani's claim alleges Jackson made sexual advances, at one point coming to her house while she was on sick leave. Quote, while at her house, Dr. Jackson asked to have a tour of her house. When he got to Miss Bustani's bedroom, Dr. Jackson began to ask her personal questions about her relationship with her boyfriend. Hazel's claim says Jackson called her his, quote, work wife and made sexual advances, asking her to go with him to a hotel room, to his own home when his wife wasn't present, and even to Las Vegas. The school board voted to terminate Jackson at the end of last month. I knocked on Jackson's door today in Carmel Valley, but he had no comment for this report. Hazel also claims she was discriminated against by the current interim superintendent, Fabiola Bagula, back when Bagula was Jackson's deputy superintendent. Dr. Bagula ordered Miss Hazel to speak to her in, quote, baby girl voice while cowering and bowing towards her, the claim alleges. The district sent me a statement saying the allegations involving Bagula were investigated and the case is now closed.
I think we have a lot of confidence in her, and that's illustrated by the fact that we did make the decision last week to appoint her to the interim role from the acting role.
We also learned that more than 14 months ago, a group of school principals sent this letter to the school board complaining about Jackson's behavior. Peterson now confirms the school board never received the letter until just a few days ago.
I don't believe there was any intention to conceal it from the board. I just think we have procedures in place that did not channel it and ensure that the board had seen it.
The big question now is what happens next with these claims? Will there be multi-million-dollar lawsuits filed or a settlement negotiated behind the scenes? The school board is set to meet in closed session next week. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Thanks, David.